think the mentorship program that they're rolling out is amazing. I think that's going to be a really great tool for new agents. Um, I think the fact that we have like open borders, so to speak, and everyone's willing to collaborate. I
Mhm.
think approaching a team, we have a lot of top producing teams. Um, I think that works most to the agent's benefit.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we have Maribel Juarez. We are going to talk about her experience as she's transitioned to Realty of America, previously with Mark Demas Properties, which is amazing because Mark Demas is president of ROA. So she got to be part of this company before we even launched. Hey, Maribel.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, would love to hear I guess, what has the experience been with launching ROA? Because you were kind of, part of that in the beginning, being with Mark Demas and Eddie from before you guys even launched. So tell me a little bit about that experience.
It's a really cool experience. I think especially because I've known these guys for a long time and I've seen their work ethic and I've seen them build out systems that have made them be, I think, giants in this business, and in a good way. Eddie building his brokerage to having a boutique, or I say boutique, but an independent brokerage to 600 agents, and Mark to selling 3,000 homes in a year, 3,000 plus, because I know it's a little bit north of that. And it's just crazy to see. And so when they were starting this brokerage, I knew that they were going to do amazing. And so to see them pull the all-star team that they did to roll this out was impressive. Obviously, always always love to see how their minds work and how they execute, and it's been really great, honestly. I think the beauty of this now is that I also get to collaborate with other agents that are, as we were rolling out, I was getting to meet people that were in California. When I was with Mark Demas Properties, we're based out of Texas, right? So the
Mhm.
only
Yeah.
opportunity that I had to meet people was if I went to conferences, but I never truly got to work alongside them because we're on different missions, different teams, and you can collaborate, but where else I think is it mutually benefiting for all of us to work together and to succeed, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so that's a little bit of what I got to witness. I think in the rollout or in the launch of Row was a lot of excitement because we have a lot of top producing teams, and
Mhm.
and it was honestly like w- being able to work on a group project with your like friends,
Yeah.
instead of being paired up with other people. That's what I would equate it to. We're like, oh, finally we get to sit together and let's work together. And that's
Yeah.
what it felt like, being able to now collaborate formally with other agents and meet with them, that were all over the nation. So there was a lot of excitement in the air. And
Yeah, no,
there
I
still is,
love that.
obviously.
Yeah, no, that's been great. And so, what is it about ROA that you think people are attracted to? Because the growth in ROA has been huge in that first year. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like over 2,000 agents and
Yeah. I think we're
you
at
get
2,500 agents now.
yeah,
Yeah.
in 1 year and the
I know.
amount of volume that you guys that we're having with the company. Where do you think that stems from? Why are people so attracted to it?
Well, obviously I feel like the compensation package I think is really attractive.
Hmm.
Um, I think that the revenue share, the structure is really attractive. And having known these guys, this isn't something that they just kind of like threw against the wall and saw if it stuck. Like
Whipped up real quick.
yeah, yeah. No, like they actually, they hired a consulting firm to come up with
Mhm.
this. And so I think the stock plan is attractive, but I think, and we can go into that all day long, but I think that what is most attractive to people is the heart of it all. And behind that is true community and collaboration.
Yeah.
And because I can't tell you, I've had agents who've approached me and they're like, I just wouldn't be able to get in close proximity to an agent like this when I have a question. And I tell them all the time, I was like, listen, mentorship in real estate is absolutely difficult to find. You know it because even, like as a top producing team, it's not even because you don't want to, but it's like you have 24 hours in the day just like I do. We have families, we have our businesses, we have our you have your team, and how do you manage it all? And if somebody, albeit as kind as you are, if someone approached you and said, "Hey, Rose, could you mentor me?" Unfortunately, you'd be taking from somewhere else to find that time to give to them. And so
Right.
here, I feel like because we're already working next to one another on these group projects, and because of how they structured the training, we're able to share and mentor a lot more
On a larger
freely than you
scale.
would be able to, right?
Yeah.
And you're not just mentoring one, you're having impact on hundreds of agents because of the national training platform that they have. And so I think the community, I I personally think that people will leave and or come for community if they feel
Yeah.
like they're welcomed, if they don't feel like they're on an island, then I truly think that that's why most people have come and decide to stay.
Yeah. Well, I think that is huge because collaboration is kind of the new thing in our industry right now, where, it is one of the biggest things about culture. And, my first experience with ROA being at NAREP and even just the leadership meeting that we had, it's just being able to like, reach out to you, Maribel, and help
Yeah.
me talk about something, or I mean, even as far as calling Mark Demas and saying, hey, I have a Zillow Flex agent who just started. How can he maximize Zillow Flex? And then just, we were out in Chicago a couple weeks ago with Eddie and Mark and just kind of seeing what they've built and really like kind of like that touching and feeling of what it's like to really partner up with the founders of the company and how much they pay attention when you're talking, and it's really like home, and the fact that they've built businesses and you can ask them questions about it
Mhm.
too, so
You
I
know,
love that.
there's one agent who's here based out of Houston, and she was also at Mark Demas Properties, and she was on the top 250 NAREP list, um, and we had an event last week, and she said, sometimes people can have influence on you and they not even know you. And she was saying, um, having seen that someone like Mark could reach this level made it possible for me to believe that I could reach this level. And so after that, Mark approached her because both of these guys are incredibly humble.
Hmm.
And they set up a meeting, and or they just talked really quickly, and she's like, here's where I'm at in my business, here's where I'm trying to go, but I keep kind of like hitting my head on this problem. And sure enough, Mark in like a minute was like, well, try this, do that. And but my point being is that where else do you get that kind of proximity? And
Yeah.
you do. I tell people this all the time. I'm like, meeting Mark and Eddie is like unlike anything that you could probably anticipate. I'm like, when you engage with them, I'm like, there is no distractions. They are looking
Mhm.
at you. You're telling them your life story. They're listening. They will remember you. If you message them, it's them
Yeah.
responding. And and this is what they're like all the time. This is not, you could not sustain that.
Yeah.
Like there is no facade. That's what they're like. They've always been client centered, and I think that it shows in how they lead.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. If there's a new agent looking to move to a real estate company, is there support in like the ROA platform? And how does that look for brand new agents?
So I think for brand new agents, I think that the support lies in a lot of our training resources that we
Mhm.
have, but I do know that we have more support on the way in the LMS system, the
Mhm.
learning module system. And I think that's really designed to go from beginning to wherever it is that you want to go in your career path. But I think also in the time being, like you mentioned, we do have a lot of collaboration. So if I was a new agent, I would probably look to pair up with a team immediately, because practicing real estate, I tell people this all the time, it's you get better at it the more reps you get in.
Yeah.
And typically teams have lead sources, and even if you're not getting anything under contract, which you should be obviously, but you're getting the reps in and you're getting the practice in. And so it gives you the opportunity to, I guess, like practice and get better at your craft and give you the opportunity to get something under contract. I'm really big on, I started on a team, obviously, but I'm really big on partnering up with a teammate, with agents, with a mentor. And the reason being is because I feel like in real estate, it's like swimming. Like,
Mhm.
there's YouTube videos that teach you how to swim. I
Yeah.
don't know if you know, but there's like a picture diagram that says, but nothing can replace you getting in the water and actually doing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think the mentorship program that they're rolling out is amazing. I think that's going to be a really great tool for new agents. I think the fact that we have like open borders, so to speak, and everyone's willing to collaborate. I
Hmm.
think approaching a team, we have a lot of top producing teams. Um, I think that works most to the agent's benefit, I would
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Tell me a little bit about Women of ROA. And,
Yeah.
I just, talked to Claudia a little bit about it and, just went to one of the events we had at NAREP and it was super awesome. So I know you've been part of that. How's that been?
So I'm on the board for the Houston chapter, or for the Texas chapter. I don't know which one. I think it's Houston. But I think again, I think at the heart of all of these endeavors is wanting to create a community, want to create a culture of inclusivity. Um, and Women of ROA is no different. I think that they really seek to elevate women in their lives. Like, we have a book club. I think that they've relaunched, and so they're getting ready to dig into another book, and usually they're on self-development.
Oh, I think
Um,
it's the 12-week year now.
yeah, the
Yep.
12-week year. Yeah, great book. And I think that they seek to pour in and to create community for women because we all struggle with the same things. The mom guilt,
Mhm.
the mom guilt from being a mother and being a business owner. We struggle with, oh my gosh, I mean, I don't know. There's so much that we struggle with, and I think that sometimes just being with a fellow woman who understands and who says, you know what, here's my workaround for that, or this worked for me. Because I do think that, unfortunately, I'm not trying to be sexist, but I do think that women and men were up against different challenges,
Mhm. Oh
and
yeah.
so I think sometimes it's helpful to have a sister in real estate say, here's what worked for me, or I hear you because I've been
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Like, and so just aiming to create community bond resources. I think they're looking at creating like a fund and like investment fund. I mean, these ladies are brilliant. You've got some of the most brilliant team leaders in the company in this organization. Again, if you're talking about leveling up, like what better way than to go to dinner with these ladies, because we have a ladies dinner club here, and rubbing elbows and talking business. I mean, we're very intentional about what it is that we do. And again, we seek to elevate and to empower our female agents.
I love that. That's great. I mean, it's a place where we can feel safe and talk about, some of the things that we as women go through. Um, you know, I mean, I work with my husband, love him to death, but we think differently about certain things. So being able to go to another woman in business, a mom, a wife, whatever that may be, is kind of like a little safe house that we have available
Yeah,
in our community. So I love that.
I agree. I agree. But how amazing that you have a partner also that's in
Yeah.
business with you, right?
Yes, yes,
That's
absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah, it's like the good cop, bad cop type thing.
Yeah.
So it works for us.
Well, good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much, Maribel, for sharing with us, your experience with the Realty of America and just the growth and proximity and collaboration within the company. I think, for people who are looking for a place to call home, this will give them a great feeling of what it's like to be with ROA. So thank you guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope Maribel was able to give you some insight on what it's like to be with Realty of America. If you want more information, please make sure to click on the link below. All right, we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.